Okay, so in continuing our football club history series, we've left Germany, we've gone back across the North Sea, and now we're in Yorkshire, West Yorkshire to be exact, and we're looking at Bradford City. Given their full name is Bradford City Athletic Football Club, their nickname is the Bantams. They play at Valley Parade, which has a capacity of 25,136 with current configuration. But what is interesting about Bradford City is their date of foundation, which I find really, really interesting how late it is in comparison to the sides from Lancashire and the Midlands we've been looking at in English football recently. They're founded in 1903, which is comparatively late compared to some of the other rival clubs we've been looking at from the early stages of the Football League. Now, the year they are founded, they're straight away admitted to the second division of the Football League for the 1903-1904 season as an expansion team. They pay the admittance fee, they get in. Now, for most of their existence, they've bounced around the divisions. They've been in the top division at various points. They've even been a Premier League side for 2 seasons, but they've bounced around. They've not really been very consistent in, let's say, for most of the existence, being in the top 2 tiers. Right now, they're in the 4th tier of English football in League 2, as things currently stand. So, since they've been in the Football League, they've never been out of it, but they just bounce around the divisions. They're, your journeyman side, so to speak. They're not really established as a top flight side or a second division side. They do go up and down the Football League pyramid, but they've never been out of it, and that is important. Now, their only trophy to date, which does surprise me with their history, is the FA Cup in the 1910-1911 season. That's the only trophy they've ever won. And I find that stunning. Much like Birmingham City only winning 2 League Cups and 2 Football League trophies in their existence, Bradford City have only won the FA Cup the once. I find that stunning. With the fact that Bradford Park Avenue have won the FA Cup, I think 3 times. They have won it once. But they have Bradford's bragging rights right now as they're in the Football League and Bradford Park Avenue are in the non-league. So there is that to bear in mind. Before we get on to the Bradford City Stadium fire, which is the darkest point in Bradford City's history and what they're most famous for, which shouldn't be the case. They should, I remember that cup defeat where they beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge a couple of seasons ago, 4-2. I remember when they were a Premier League side between 1999 and 2001. They should be remembered for these things rather than the Bradford City Stadium fire, which happened on the 11th of May 1985 and led to the deaths of 54 Bradford fans and 2 Lincoln fans that day. And it gets overshadowed by the Hazel disaster, the Ibrox disaster, and Hillsborough in stadium disasters and watershed moments in sporting history in this country, and it does get overshadowed and it does get forgotten about by the mainstream media, which I think is a disgrace. I think the Bradford City Stadium fire should be remembered as equally as Hillsborough for a stadium disaster, and I think the mainstream media forgets about it because Bradford City aren't a fashionable club, they're not in the top flight, they're not important, which I think is wrong. But let's go back to some more interesting facts and figures about the club. So the most appearances, the most goals, the biggest win and the biggest defeats, because there's 2 defeats, and your biggest rivals. So the most appearances is by Kes Pod, a St Kitts and Nevis international, 574 appearances for the club in all competitions between 1970 and 1984. That is a fantastic achievement by anyone's standards. Kes Pod, what a name. 574 appearances. I don't think that record for the club gets broken anytime soon. Most goals, 143 by Bobby Campbell in 2 spells at the club between 1979 and 1986. Again, that's a fantastic record. Their biggest win, Bradford City's biggest win, was 11-1 against Rotherham United in the old Division 3 North back on the 25th of September at 1928. The biggest defeat, there's 2 of these, an 8-0 versus Man City in the old Division 2 on the 7th of May 1927 and a 9-1 to Colchester United in the old Division 4 on the 30th of December 1961. So you don't want those records for much longer. Hopefully there's no more big defeats like that. Biggest rivals, Huddersfield Town and Leeds United and Bradford Park Avenue. But Bradford Park Avenue have been in the non-league for a very, very long time. Haven't been in the Football League for a long, long time. But they're your city rivals. And of course, that's some of the fun stats that I found. But I am surprised by the fact they've only won the FA Cup once back in 1911, so before World War I. But they've always been a Football League side since foundation. They've never been outside the Football League, but they've bounced around the divisions. And since they've got relegated from the Premier League in 2001, there have been some financial issues off the field, and there have been some relegations and some really tough times. It would be nice to see Bradford City back in the upper reaches of the Football League and maybe even the Premier League one day, someday soon. It won't be happening for a while, but with Sparky in charge, that passion and that fire ain't going to go away. So there's some hope yet. But for now, thank you very much for watching. That is a brief history of Bradford City Athletic Football Club, otherwise known as the Bantams. I hope you enjoyed that little trip through the history books for Bradford City, and please leave a like and a comment down below, and give a subscription if you like what you see, and I'll have some more video content for you very, very soon.